There we go. Now we're live. Oh, hold on. We got to go live here. Good morning, everybody. This is Anna Sothen. I don't know why it does that. Do you see that? I can't click on. Oh, there we go. Now we're live on Instagram as well, too. Good morning, everybody. This is Anna Sothen here at 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where we don't talk about sports because I don't know about sports. But I do have my dear friend Keith with me, Hedgespeth, and I said it correctly, and I'm very proud. So we're going to interview him and talk about his business, what he does, who he helps, and why you should connect with him. So listen in. Oh my God, I should have had this. Cute. Okay.
Hi, everybody. I am Anna Sothen. Anna, like Princess Anna from Frozen, and Sothen, like the beginning of a story. And I am your community connector. I am your human Rolodex. I help you increase your visibility and your credibility so that you can increase your business's profitability. If you want to be seen, if you want to be heard, if you want to be the expert in your industry, you need to connect. So reach out to me, Anna Sothen at Best Version Media.
What do you think?
It's pretty legit.
I know, right? Makes me official. I love it. That was also when I was sick, so my voice is drastically different from that as well, too. But okay, so, tell them who you are.
My name is Keith Hedgespeth. I own Audio Video Creations. We are a audio video integration company based here in Richmond, Virginia.
I love it. So what does audio video integration mean? Like, what does the integration part of it actually mean?
So to simplify it, you've probably heard smart home before.
Uh-huh.
So we make homes and businesses smart with technology. So the integration part is you have one manufacturer that makes a TV and one manufacturer that makes shades and lighting. We take all of those devices and make them talk to each other.
Okay.
And then that's the integration part of it.
Okay.
Because inertly, they don't talk to each other. They're independent devices.
Right. Are they made to be that way?
Are they made to be independent or made to talk to each other? They're made to be independent.
Is it difficult to integrate them?
It can be. That's where professional help comes in.
Right,
and we make it easy.
We make it easy. Well, yes, it make it easy for the homeowner because then they just flip a switch or just do one thing versus having to do all the things.
Exactly.
So I was telling my husband that I was going to interview you and that you were going to come over after you go to Monty's house and come check out our house. And I told him, I was like, we have a smart home. And he was like, no, we don't. And I was like, but don't we? And he was like, no. He's like, our home.
Yeah, people
smart.
think I have a Ring doorbell. I have a smart home. Like,
so
no.
What does that mean? What does a smart home mean?
Yeah. So you should work not for your home or your business should work for you.
Okay.
So think about when you pull up into your driveway, are the lights on when you come home automatically?
No.
Or do they wait for you to come inside and turn them on?
Correct.
Right. Did the blinds close while you were gone? Did the air condition do certain things? Does your home know that you're home or your husband's home? And based off of that, what happens? Does certain type of music start playing? Does certain lighting scenes start? So all of those things are things that create a smart home.
Okay.
Obviously, Ring can be a part of that. Obviously, Sonos or other major manufacturers or brands that, people have considered as smart home brands, right? But those devices by themselves aren't necessarily the makings of I guess they are the makings of a smart home.
Well, they're pieces of a smart home. It's sort of like an apple pie. Like you don't have apple pie without the apples and the crust and the cinnamon.
Exactly.
And right. So
exactly.
You can say you have an apple pie, but without those, if you take out the apples and you just have pie.
Crust.
Yeah. I was like, not even pie.
Yeah.
Okay. So, oh my God, I totally lost my train of thought. Okay. So let's go back to the smart home and integrating them all together. So you said, yes, it can be easy, but are there things that cannot be integrated?
Anything?
Well, okay. Let's back up. Things that you can integrate. Your Ring.
Sure.
Stereo system.
Mm-hmm.
TV. You said audio, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lighting. Shades. Temperature control. I mean, and then we can go beyond that to pools. We can do pretty much anything.
Garage doors, obviously.
Garage doors, yeah. Okay. Anything that you now have an app for, right?
Okay.
That's kind of a good telltale sign of whether it can be integrated or not. If there's an app for it, there's what we call an API, which is the back end code of it.
Okay.
And likely it can be integrated, with that.
I just learned that word yesterday, API.
API? Yeah.
Yes. I still don't know what it means, but I guess integrated, right? So
yeah, I don't live on the coding side either.
yeah,
So
yeah. But so I read it and then I was like, I don't even know what this means. So let me Google it. And then the definition was the word. And I was like, that's not how you teach.
It's not an acronym?
No, it is an acronym for
Oh, okay.
something. So
Okay.
automatic something integration.
I should know what that means.
But anyway, so I was like, and so I read it and they just said the same thing over again. And I was like, that wasn't helpful. That's almost like when I ask my kids to explain what a word means to me. And they're like, well, it's a basketball. And I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't define it. Okay. All right. So all of those systems can be integrated. So let's talk about the different, the Siri, the Alexa, the Sonos. What's the difference between those systems?
That's a long question. It's like, what's the difference between iPhones and Androids, right?
Oh, good. The list is long and distinguished.
Yeah. So let's not go all the way down that
Yeah.
wormhole, but Siri, Alexa, and Google Home are your front runners on the consumer side of things. And they're great, kind of DIY systems. And we even implement them into professional systems as well.
Okay.
So if you wanted to use Alexa or Google Home along with a professional installed system, we could definitely make that happen. And then there's also systems that are more professional based, like a Josh AI, which you've probably never heard of.
Never heard of it.
But the biggest difference between, let's say, a Josh AI and a Siri, Alexa, or Google Home is it can handle compound commands. So you ask Siri to do more than one thing and she wigs out. She completely doesn't understand.
Okay.
And it also doesn't have any logic to understand if you say something slightly wrong. So let's say you wanted to close the living room blinds, but your programming says that it's a family room, not a living room.
Oh, okay.
Alexa, Google Home, they'll say that this room doesn't exist.
Gotcha.
Something like a Josh AI, a more professional system, uses AI to say, based off of what she's saying, 99% chance she wants.
This is what she meant.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's interpretation as well, too. That's a little scary.
Depends. I mean,
again, there's another rabbit hole.
Yeah, there's another rabbit hole.
AI.
Skynet is closer than it appears.
Okay, so that's one of the things. So let's also talk about like TVs and home stereo systems and stuff like that, and the difference between going to a big box store versus coming and working with someone like you.
Sure.
Why would somebody do that? Because it's cheaper to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or.
The Home Depot and Lowe's don't sell TVs, fortunately.
Oh, they don't?
No,
okay.
No.
This shows you how much I know. Best Buy. Best Buy.
Yeah. So
Circuit City, which is no longer in existence.
Exactly.
You're probably too young to remember that.
Exactly. No, I remember Circuit City.
Yeah. So where do you buy TVs besides Amazon, I guess? You can buy
so
TV off
I mean,
Amazon.
your big box stores all sell TVs, and depending on the clientele of the big box store, would determine on what they have, obviously, in stock. The biggest difference is that's a very common misconception that we're going to be more expensive.
Okay.
We're the exact same price. We're very competitive. We can price match. We know a lot of times the sales ahead of time on, am I getting the best Black Friday price? We have a roadmap and can see those pricing ahead of time and advise our customers accordingly on what can be done. And then also it's the fact of you get that white glove delivery service with us. So you're paying the same price. You're not trying to strap a TV to your roof and get it home. We come, we deliver it. It's a local business. So you're supporting a local business rather than a big box store.
Yep.
And then when you have questions, concerns, you get me, you get someone from my company, not a 1-800 number that routes you through a phone tree that you wait on hold with 1,000 other people. It's
and
really
then you get
that
disconnected.
And then you get disconnected. And then you're frustrated because you spent this money with a store that really doesn't care about you ultimately. So we are local, you know where I live, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going to we're not going to do anything detrimental to you because we want to provide good service.
Right. So the other thing that I want to talk about, and it goes back to this whole local, I can pick up the phone and I can call you, is you talked about internet as well too, right? So you're now a preferred provider. What's the actual term?
Yeah, a Comcast affiliate.
Comcast affiliate.
Yeah.
Right. So talk a little bit about that.
So
that's a huge.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
Didn't the internet just go down for somebody?
Amazon AWS went down.
Oh, okay.
AWS East went down. lot of our functions run off of, but that has nothing to do with like internet service directly.
Okay. Well, Jack came home and he was like, Mommy, we couldn't get into not Canva, but Canvas, which is the system that they use for like doing all their schoolwork. He's like, so I don't have any homework. And I said, I call BS. He was actually right. I was wrong. But yeah, so, okay, that's completely different. But yeah, so the internet goes down and people panic because we live on these devices all over the place. Okay, so sorry.
No.
Side note, squirrel.
No, we make it easy. Again, that's the whole premise of our business, is to make things easier for you when it comes to technology. And one of those things is the affiliate program with Comcast. So both on the residential and on the commercial side, we can kind of be a representative for you. So if you're looking to start a new service, add a box, or you're having some issues with just anything Comcast related, you don't have to call 1-800-Comcast. You can call us, and then we have the ability to deal with support on a higher level than what you guys, are able to do directly. So that's the gist of it in a nutshell.
Okay. Well, that again, going back to having to spend hours on hold trying to get a hold of somebody and then explain it and then realize the person that you're talking to and you get shared the entire story with is not the person who's going to help you. And then they end up transferring you. They usually do a cold transfer. They never do a warm transfer. Right. And then you get to that other person and you have to re-explain it only to find out that that person is also not the person that you need to be talking to.
Did you unplug it and plug it back in? Right. Yeah.
Do that before you do anything. When it has some technology, just unplug it and then plug it back in or power it down or whatever.
100% of the time it works, 90% of the time.
Yes. Yeah. IT will tell you that. I remember when I used to work for American Funds and something would happen with my computer. And the first, 2 times IT was like, well, did you power down your computer? I'm like, why would I do that? Then I can't recreate the problem. Right. And they're like, no, it'll fix it. And then by then it was just like, you just power it down and then
it worked.
It worked. So they were right. Okay. So let's go back to this whole home integration. Like, is that a big, huge, because I'm thinking like home, like renovation type of thing, like you're, bringing things down to the studs, but like, what does that process look like? Is it like, obviously not for the homeowner, not arduous for us, but like, how does that process work?
Yeah. So it can be as small as you have an existing home and you just want a new TV, you want a little upgrade. And we help tons and tons of clients just with that basic process. And then that can expand to, hey, we want better TV and a better sound system. And that could be as simple as a sound bar, or that can be a little more in depth of installing in-wall speakers and in-ceiling speakers, etc. And then you grow from there of, hey, this Wi-Fi connectivity isn't working. And we have multiple solutions, whether we can do that wired or wirelessly, depending on the construction or the needs.
Okay.
And then, like you said, there's a whole nother side of that where it comes to construction, whether that's a renovation, a new build, etc., where we're doing things before the drywall is up, right? We're installing wiring and speakers and in-ceiling speakers, in-wall speakers, invisible speakers, all of those things.
What are invisible speakers?
Yeah, speakers you don't see.
Thank you, smarty pants. Like, how?
It's kind of self-explanatory.
I know.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm thinking like, what does an invisible speaker look like? Is it in the wall and you don't see it?
It's in the wall. It gets drywalled, or not drywalled, but mudded over.
Okay.
And it sounds like a regular speaker is sitting right here in the room with you. You would have no idea that there was a speaker there unless I told you.
Okay. I may have watched too many crime movies, but I'm thinking of like the person who gets like drywalled into the wall from the mafia, right? And I'm like, oh my God, where's the speaker at? Yeah. Okay. How easy is that to fix if they break?
If they break, they don't break. They come with a 25-year warranty. So we test everything ahead of time before final install and everything. And they're, manufacturer approved for 25 years.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
What's the benefit of a like invisible speaker versus like a regular? So I was like, you said soundbar. I have one of those. It's a big thing at the top of my mantle. I don't know if it actually works, but it is there.
We'll fix that.
And then I also have speakers in the walls downstairs and in our, I do know the downstairs ones work. I'm almost positive the ones upstairs work. Just speakers that you can see, they're sort of like little bump out, whatever. But how, like, what's the benefit of doing something like that other than like visually not seeing it?
That's the primary benefit. So when we're talking to our luxury clients that, you know, have these beautiful artworks on the wall, or they have a ceiling that just looks really congested with the amount of can lights they have going on, you know, they don't want the focus to be taken away from speakers or with speakers. So in those cases, that's where we, you know, would recommend invisible speakers, and we put those in the wall or in the ceiling, depending on the application. All right. So it's a particular subset of clients that are typically either requesting it or that's a recommendation that we're going to make for them.
Okay.
But that would be the goal.
Why would you put speakers in a ceiling?
That's pretty common, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
So then you have a sound coming down at you versus, okay.
Yeah. I mean,
does it make the experience different?
Not necessarily. I mean, in wall is not very common unless it's like a surround sound setup, where you would want speakers kind of in wall at ear level. In the ceiling is very popular in like bathrooms, kitchens, bedrooms, things of that nature, where you have cabinets in the way or you have artwork going on the wall, and things of that nature. So we put it overhead, and it creates a great sound experience for those rooms, for sure.
Oh, I'm thinking like if we're thinking about redoing our bathroom. I don't know if we're actually going to go through with the project because we have a lot of ideas, and then we're like, and we want to do radiant floors,
heated floors.
Yes, so nice. And then I also said I wanted a heated toilet seat, and my husband was like, "Okay, you're getting to be too much." I want a bidet too.
Get
we don't. One. I know, but we don't have space to do a separate one, and I don't know the idea of like a toilet and a bidet together. Just sort of weirds.
I mean, they're like self-cleaning and stuff.
I know, but it still weirds me out a little bit. So, but anyway, but that'd be nice. Like if we walked into our bathroom and it had sort of like that spa, like
you got the little music playing in the background.
Yeah. Again, my husband's being like, no, you shouldn't talk to people anymore. You get too many ideas. Okay, so you can do. How hard is it to, obviously before construction is going to be a lot easier, right? Because nothing's done and you can wire. How hard is it to wire something for an existing home? Like, are we talking about putting holes in walls and having to replaster and repaint? And
that is case by case basis, right? With years of experience, depending on your home construction, we have a lot of tricks that will keep us from having to cut and patch and do that. Sometimes it's just unavoidable.
Okay.
So definitely during the renovation phase is the best time absolutely to do it. But if you have that existing home, that beautiful kitchen or bathroom or whatever, and you want something and you want it in the ceiling or in the wall, we'll work through that process with you to say, hey, this is what we can do. This is what we can't do. Here's where we may need to cut.
Okay.
And then if cutting is absolutely not an option, there are other, surface mount and tabletop options and things like that. But those are kind of like from a professional standpoint, those are kind of our last resort.
Yeah, because aesthetically, I'm assuming it wouldn't look as pretty. Right? To have like a speaker.
Exactly. A lot of people renovate their kitchen or their bathroom and spend, there was a kitchen island that we did, not we did, but we were working on a renovation project. $50,000 granite
island
for the granite.
Alone. And for the granite alone, not even the cabinets underneath.
Not even the cabinets
supporting the $50,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they wanted to put a $99 Alexa on it. And it was like, one of these things is not like the other.
Right.
So we recommend let's not do that. Let's put that in the ceiling. That's the perfect client that you shouldn't have anything distracting. You spend all this money on these beautiful, beautiful countertops, and then you have a cheap speaker sitting on it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you counted the square footage, you probably covered, $500 with the granite with a $99 speaker.
That's funny. I mean, people are weird. I did see at Kevin and Alicia's house, they have a speaker that comes out of their island. No, that wasn't an island.
That wasn't the speaker.
Wasn't a speaker. What was it?
That was the power.
The tower thingy that came out of the island?
Of the countertop?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't a speaker.
Oh.
We have speakers in the ceiling there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we painted them so they blend in with the ceiling, so you didn't even notice them.
I did not. Well, there's so many other pretty things to notice in that house.
There's a lot of pretty things.
I don't think I noticed that minute detail. I got lost in their house, and the only reason I knew that I was coming from a different location was because the wall in their staircase was different. And I was like, that wasn't.
You're on a different floor.
That didn't look the same when I don't think I came this way, and I'm directionally challenged, so I could get lost in there. I did get lost in their house, is what I'm saying. Okay, so that's a complete side note, but anyway, all right, let's go back to the whole process. So why would somebody want to call you? Or who's your ideal client?
Okay. Both. Okay.
Both.
All right. Why would someone want to call me? Same reason why you would call a mover, a painter, a contractor. We're contractors, all the same, right? So instead of making the TV an afterthought, if we're brought in the beginning, we can tell you about a lot of options of things that you can do that, we just covered briefly. Invisible speakers not even being something you knew about.
Right.
So us having that conversation, there's no obligation, obviously, right? But at the same time, me educating you on that might be something that you want, and you, oh wow, I didn't even know I wanted that. That
Right.
makes sense. Actually, yes, let's do that. Where if you do it yourself, you wouldn't have known.
Right.
You would have just settled for what you knew about.
Right.
Or if you called us after a project like that was done, now the options have substantially been reduced.
Right.
After the fact. So definitely want to be involved, earlier in the process. And then ideal client, someone who is looking to upgrade.
Okay.
So they've had their TV for X amount of years. They're looking to upgrade. TV just went out. Obviously, that's very, very simple, straightforward. But then looking for, clients that are just moving. Mounting a TV is the first thing that people typically want to do. That's that sense of home, that sense
Right.
of relaxation after packing and unpacking. So we deal with a lot of people on that front. But then also dealing with those more luxury clients as well that, want that home to work for them, want that automation, want that when I drive up in my driveway, the lights come on and it knows that it's me, and the blinds close automatically based off of the sunrise and the sunset. And the lights don't go to full brightness because it knows that it's after 6 p.m. and that's going to be entirely too bright. Things like that are what we look for in our ideal client. But we service everyone from apartments to multi-million-dollar homes. We don't necessarily have a niche of client that we only want to service.
Gotcha.
We appreciate everyone.
Awesome. I love that. So I like this idea of like when you drive up and your home, basically what I think of is your home comes alive,
Mhm.
right? Because now, hey, my owner's home. I always think of like our dogs, right? Like they're just sitting at the door.
Yeah.
Like I can smell them. They're in the driveway.
Yep.
I can think of like the house being the exact same way. And I think of like blinds. My husband, oh God, it drives me nuts. During the day, I would love to have the blinds open.
Mhm.
We also have 30 windows. So going around and like opening and
It's a task.
closing, it's a pain in the rear end.
Mhm.
It's, again, first world problems, right? But it is like to think about to do that. And then at night, my husband, like when we're home, he likes them to be closed.
Mhm.
Because he thinks that people are just staring in our windows. I'm like,
Voyeurism.
nobody is standing outside in the street looking inside your window. But anyway, so like I like that idea of like your blinds opening and closing and things of that nature. Because again, having it come alive. And then the idea of like when you pull up into your driveway, one, having my garage door just open because it senses my car.
Mhm.
But two, having the lights come on. Because unless we remember, my husband's the only one who touches the lights. I don't ever turn the lights on. Like I will just walk out in the dark. I do all the time, which is a little precarious because I have fallen once or twice. But like he, when he knows that I'm coming home and it's late at night, he'll turn on, the outdoor lights or whatever,
Sure.
just so that, but it'd be nice if it knew I was coming home to just turn on those lights.
Yep. And then illuminate the pathway so you don't fall. Middle of the night, you get up, you need to use the restroom. It detects your feet, near the ground.
Yeah.
And the nice little glow towards the
I love that too.
Yeah. All of those are things that people don't think about. And then once we start talking about the options, it's like, how have I lived without this all this time? Or like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. For us, it would be more along the lines of not stepping in my dog's pee because she decided not to wait for us to take her to. Side note, that little turd. Okay. So how can people reach you?
Our website, audiovideocreationsllc.com.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to reach us. From there, you'll find our phone number. You'll find our social media accounts. You'll see proofs of our work. etc., just Google us or just go straight to our website.
I love it. And we're going to put their website and their phone number in the comments as well, too, just so that you guys have that. And then, so since you do have foresight, I guess, for lack of a better word, for all those Black Friday deals, are there any things that like you should tell people about that might entice them to?
I would say nothing is getting any cheaper for Black Friday. There are some sales going on, and if you want to work with us, we can definitely help you navigate those sales. But there's nothing that's like overwhelmingly great. You know, it's not like me and my buddy were having this conversation yesterday or 2 days ago. He missed the old paper copies of, you know, you got that mail.
Oh, yeah.
You would go through and like, oh man, I need to go get this thing because this is like a doorbuster deal,
Right.
you know, and you would camp out for it.
Yeah. Do they even do doorbuster deals anymore?
I have no idea.
I'm thinking of like when people were standing and like, I'm thinking like when Michaela was little and she wanted like a particular toy. I do remember that we were in West Virginia one time and we went out at like, I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't even remember what the freaking toy was.
Mm-hmm.
But we went out there to go get it because that's what she wanted. And I don't think people do that anymore.
Not really. I mean, online shopping and the sales start so much earlier now.
Oh my God, yes.
So a lot of stuff is already on the sale that it's going to be for that.
It doesn't
Black
get it.
Friday
Yeah,
deal.
it doesn't
get any cheaper, or it might go up in price like a week ahead of time or 2 weeks ahead of time.
Because now they got you between a rock and a hard spot. Right, if you're still looking for it,
Mm-hmm.
like you're, you know, they know you're going to buy it, and so.
And it also gives them time to kind of restock on inventory a little bit too. If that price is up, people are going to wait. They're going to get some inventory in. So it's
smart,
solid.
Well, it's all sales and marketing and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so again, give them your website one more time.
AudioVideoCreationsLLC.com.
Perfect.
Simple
and then phone number
804-500-7703.
Love it. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. So was it as bad as you thought it was going to be?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
See, I tell people that all the time. I don't think they believe me though. They're like, I don't know what you're going to ask me, because literally when I invite people, it's, hey, I say it's a conversation between friends. Mm-hmm. Is that what it was like?
Yeah, pretty much.
And he didn't die. So, you know, yay. But yeah, so that's what I tell people all the time. Like I don't have any preconceived, I guess, roadmap of where, because I feel like when you do that and then it becomes very structured and scripted and then I wouldn't want to listen to that. I just want to listen to somebody having a conversation, and then whatever needs to be said will be said. I'm a firm believer of that. So anyway, so thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I love it. All right. Here we go. Hold on.
Hi, I am Anna Sothen, your radio show host for The In Crowd and the publisher behind Swift Creek and Powhatan Living Magazine. I am your human Rolodex, connecting with listeners on a personal level each week. Are you ready to elevate your brand to new heights? With a finger on the pulse of the latest trends and a knack for bringing stories to life, I seamlessly integrate your brand into the conversation. The In Crowd is so much more than a radio show. It's a platform for your business to shine. Become a sponsor and let me connect you directly to your customers. Don't just advertise, be part of the conversation. Contact me, Anna Sothen at annasothen.com.
Again, thank you guys for being here. Keith, thank you for being here and being my guest this morning. So tune in next week because I'll have Marianne Kelly from Marianne Kelly's School of Dance, and I'll interview her. She's one of my sponsors for Powhatan Living. And until then, stay fluid, my friends. I'm always cheering for you. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, I almost fell. Did you see that?